Do you like beets?
I hate beets.
Yeah, I have never, ever
I
liked
read
beets.
once that beets were like really super healthy. We have, we have a juicer.
Okay.
I found it the other day.
Yeah.
A couple years ago.
Yeah.
I got all into juicing.
Mm-hmm. Juicing?
And I'm going to juice every day.
Juice? Yeah.
And I read...
the juice is loose.
Juicing it.
Juice.
That's what I called it.
Well, yeah.
But
Well,
that's what say,
that-
what are you doing? I'm juicing it.
Well, that's what it's called, yeah. So that's why you...
I like to juice it. Sometimes I would say I like to juice off.
Hello.
Say, what are you doing over there? I'm juicing off. Just juice the juice out of it.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
juice it till it can't.
Juice it till, till it
after
hurts.
You juice it so much that it hurts and then it won't respond
Right.
for a good 15... What?
20 minutes.
Oh. We haven't even started.
Will you please pass the ketchup?
You mean the ketchup?
Educated people pronounce it catsup.
How don't they want me to pass it to them?
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. Get off your feet and jump around. Give it up for your hosts, Mike and Darin.
Hi, I'm Darin.
I am Mike.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. This is Cincinnati's Comedy Podcast, episode 226.
Holy crap.
Right.
Have you picked a good one?
Oh, yeah. You know what? The other day,
Yes.
not to interrupt your introduction.
Go ahead.
A woman was talking to me, and she said, Daryl, what is your podcast about? And I told her, I said, have you ever watched The Office? And she said, yeah. I said, well, there's a podcast called Office Ladies, and it stars Pam, Jenna Fisher, and the chick who played Angela. Angelina.
Yeah.
And every episode, they talk about an episode of The Office, and they have people who like guest directed or wrote or whatever, and they bring them on and they talk about every episode.
That sounds fascinating.
Yeah, and I said, our podcast is nothing at all like that. Yeah.
I don't think so.
Our podcast is more...
Yeah. You know, you said the other day that we don't really have a niche.
Niche, as it were.
And we don't.
Niche-y.
But I swear to God, if you and I were famous, if we were John Hamm and Paul Rudd,
this would become a new niche.
holy crap!
Yeah.
If we were like famous and we did exactly what we're doing right now, gazillion.
So just pretend you've heard of us before.
Yeah.
And sit back, strap it up, and what?
and
Let it fly.
how you doing?
I'm okay.
Good.
I was a little nervous because I just told you I got the Oasis tickets and I made a calculated gamble that you wouldn't want to go, and then you did the worst possible thing.
I was like,
you said I kind of want to go.
Oh, yeah.
And there may still be. I mean, the on sale is tomorrow.
Okay.
So I do want you to try to get one if you can get one.
Okay.
General admission. They're the easiest ones to get.
Okay.
It's just a sea of out there. Nobody wants to be general admission. Because they're not the cheapest seats.
Right.
And they're not the most expensive. And there's, Oasis fans at this point are 40s and above. Ain't nobody wants to be standing all day.
Right.
And when you go GA with me, you're standing in the sun for 10 hours.
I know.
Because you may meet one of the Gallaghers
well,
and then you stand there.
With my plantar fasciitis, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that.
Yeah. So anyway.
Because I'm old, kids.
In the Oasis Reddit, I've been active in that today because there was something that happened with the sales over in the UK. In the UK, the Gallagher brothers could run for king and queen, and there would be
no running. They could just announce. Or they would both be king.
Nobody ran for king back in the day.
King and co-king.
It's not like King George was up against King Frederick. And
Vote Frederick.
Vote George. Anyway.
Vote with your remote.
So they used dynamic ticket pricing over there, which is Ticketmaster. They kind of made a deal with Satan.
Right.
And
I don't like
they basically said, hey, if you would pay $10 for this ticket, sure you'd pay $25.
Yeah.
And then if you'd pay $25,
my God, why wouldn't you pay $75?
Why wouldn't you stop at $75?
Right.
And if you're going to go that far, go ahead for $150. So it's an algorithm. Look it up, folks. An algorithm that will
invented by Al Gore.
By Al Gore, yes, exactly. And it will increase the price of the ticket based on perceived demand.
Right.
So let's say you're going to go get tickets for Oasis in the UK. the first ticket, it doesn't matter what they set the price at, $1, the next ticket that sells is going to be $15,000.
Right, but that's in pounds, Mike.
Pound, yeah. Point is, there were people...
They pay in stones.
They pay in stones and quid, which is squid without the S.
How many quid is that?
Yeah, so they were paying... What the face value was $200, they're paying 800 to 900 pounds for those tickets.
Right.
And then they sold out like with a microphone
like
picked up like that.
Wow.
Like lickety snap. They sold out. And so then all eyes hit the American tour, which for some reason these nitwits thought, we just need 5 dates. That's it. We're good.
Five.
Number 5.
How many times can we say it? 5?
And then just a couple of days ago, they added a smorgasbord of more dates, 6. And they said, in America, we're not using the dynamic pricing model because they know we won't put up with that.
Right.
Okay. So they had a pre-sale that was today.
Okay.
And it's you have a limit of the number of tickets you can buy. You have to be invited to it. You have to be invited. So I got an email from Oasis.
Kind of like entering a house if you're a vampire.
I got an email from Mr. Oasis.
Charles
and he
Oasis.
said, would you like to apply to get a ticket ballot? And we're voting. That's what they call it, a ballot.
Okay.
And I clicked the thing that said yes, and it took me to another site. I had to enter my name, my email address, my phone number, and I had to answer an Oasis trivia question. And it said, if you get the question wrong, your ballot's gone. You can't get a ticket. So I did what everyone does. I looked up the answer to the question on another tab and entered in that answer, and I got a ballot.
You cheated.
I cheated.
Wow.
A couple of days later,
what you're saying is there's fraudulent activity.
Right. And then I got an email back that said, you have we've confirmed your ballot entry. We will email you by midnight, whatever today is, and to give you a code for a number of tickets. And I got the code, and it's like, get in at this time. It said 10 minutes before 3. I got in an hour before 3, and I was number 4,500 in line.
Oh.
And I was like, I'm not gonna get any tickets.
Yeah.
And then I got them, but it was moving really. You ever been on Ticketmaster when it's in one of these where it's like sluggish?
It's like
people watching
like a flux.
It gets all sluggishy.
You look like you're square dancing.
If you're going to go buy tickets to Flucky Fluckerstein at the Boilermaker bar,
his last album was awesome.
You can like order 15 tickets like that. But if you're getting a ticket for this, it's like you type in.
It's not like that.
They ask you for the 4-digit code. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right.
You hit 1, 2, 3, 4, and it goes 1, 2, 3.
Oh, the
circle
thing.
4, and I'm like, God, it's going to kick me out.
Right.
And I got in there and I got a ticket. Now Reddit's going crazy with people saying within 45 minutes all the seats are gone. All right.
Right. And
then there's other people coming in and saying this was just the pre-sale. There's more tickets on Friday. They hold them back for Friday.
Right.
And just to be I let everyone know what happened with U2. You know the band U2.
I've heard of them. I've seen them. It's Bono,
Larry, Adam,
the
Edge, and that other guy,
Boner.
They did a similar thing. You had to apply for a thing. They send you an email. Then you get a code, and then they did their pre-sale on a Wednesday. Thursday morning. They came in, they said, we're not selling any tickets on Friday because there are none. So their first 8 to 12 shows never even went on sale to the general public. They were just sucked up by the fan club. Yeah. So my point is... The point is I was terrified that I wasn't going to get any tickets.
Right.
I knew... for a fact that you weren't going to pay that amount and go to that city on that date to do that. And then lo and behold, you said, I would pay that amount. I would go to that city and I love that date. So I'm telling you, get on the Ticketmaster tomorrow at about, I think it's about 2 or 3 p.m.
I just think you feel so guilty.
I do. Part of me, I want to spend time at a concert with Dan. I want to spend time with Dan.
I understand that.
But I don't want you to feel badly, and I would like you to be there if you want. I just didn't. Okay, part of it is I didn't want you to feel obligated to go.
Right.
Because sometimes when people ask me if I want to go somewhere, I'm like, I don't really want to see that band.
Right.
But I do want to hang out with so-and-so.
A couple years ago when Billy Idol came through, I asked you and you said no. I asked my buddy Eric, he didn't want to go. I asked my buddy, I asked like 6 people, and nobody wanted to go or couldn't go. So I called you back. I'm like, look, nobody can go.
Yeah.
So come on. And you're like, okay.
Yeah. And I'm glad I went.
I made you go. I made you do it.
I'm glad I went to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're listening to Irritable Dad Syndrome. I'm Dave Lay, and I approve this message.
Before we get into any more fun and frivolity, we record this podcast like a week or so in advance. And so by the time you hear this news is very, very old. But Pete Rose died.
Yeah.
The hit king.
And Chris Christopherson.
I love Chris Christopherson. Yeah. Oh, my God. He was amazing. But
so Peter
Allen Rose. Was it Peter Allen or Peter Edward Rose?
Here's what I understand. Now you tell me where I'm wrong, because I'm not a sports guy.
I'm not either.
He was supposed to be in the Hall of Fame because he's really good at baseball, and then
he's the hit king.
He's the hit king, and he made a bet, and then
He made a lot of bets. He gambled on baseball, which is there's a rule that you can't do that.
He made a bet,
Mike. He made bet plural. Lots of bets.
He made bets.
While he was a manager and a player, he bet. I mean, now he bet on the team to win.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but you can't do that. So
Why? It shows initiative. You literally putting your money where your mouth is, right?
You're not allowed to gamble.
Why? I never understood that. Why?
I don't know. You're like a child. Why can't I stay out past midnight, Mama? I just want to. You're not allowed to, and
it's because of those damn boxers back in the Prohibition era. They would throw the fights, and the fat cats would get fatter. They would the mafia, the mafia, the mob.
Just like Butch.
Not that the mafia or the mob ever existed. I'm not saying they ever existed.
Butch was supposed to throw the match, and he didn't.
In Pulp Fiction. Yeah, Zed's dead, baby.
Zed's dead.
Yeah,
you weren't supposed to do that. He knew that. And he gambled anyway, and he got kicked out of baseball. Okay,
so you can't play anymore because you gambled.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. You can't be affiliated with baseball either. I mean, for the longest time, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I probably am. I don't even think he was allowed on the field. Right. I mean, he couldn't manage.
They don't let me on the field.
Anyway. Many people thought that Rose should have been in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. Rightfully so. He hit more baseballs than anybody else. Yeah. He still holds the record.
Yeah.
But my point, I got to work with Pete Rose one time.
That's awesome. Yeah, you put a picture of him.
I did. When I worked at Channel 5, I made commercials, and I used to do commercials for this local furniture place called Munchkins Furniture. And I get this call that said, hey, we're doing a commercial. We're bringing Pete Rose in.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's Pete Rose.
Yeah.
And back in the day, I used to go and do all these commercials by myself.
Uh-huh.
I would go in, I would set up my lights, I would set up my own camera, I would run my own camera. I would roll up the cords and do the audio levels I did, all that stuff. I was a one-man band. And I told my boss, I was like, look, I am not one-man banding this commercial with Pete Rose. And he goes, okay, do what you need to do. So who did I call? I called Dave Lay.
Hi, I'm Dave Lay.
I called Dave Lay and I called Larry Reynolds. Uh-huh. And then this girl, production assistant at Channel 5, Stephanie, I brought her along. So there was a team of 4 of us. I'm like, I want to look like a team.
Yeah.
So anyway, Pete comes in, and Pete's kind of a...
Really?
Yeah. He was just not in a good mood at all when he got there.
Not happy with you.
Yeah, he was not happy. And I said, hey, Pete, how's it going? Yeah, I said, so I'm Darin. I'm going to be directing this commercial. And I said, we're going to be shooting this in 3 or 4 different locations in the store. He goes, 4 locations? I said, yeah. He goes, why? I said, well, I mean, we need to show off, the living room sets and the tables and the mattresses.
Yeah, who's the professional here, Pete? Stay in your lane.
He was just like, well, I don't know why we're doing that. And his manager was there. And he says, well, Pete, we really need to, show different locations. And he goes, all right. And he was, kind of gruffed and walked off. And I had to go and collect myself. And I was like, and I finally just like, you know what, Darin? I'm not going to be intimidated. They hired you for a reason.
Yeah.
You are directing this commercial.
You're the boss.
Exactly.
Get in line, Pete.
But I wasn't going to go in there with that attitude of you're going to listen to me and you're going to like it.
Yeah, nobody likes that.
Because I just wanted to,
Yeah.
And I thought, Darin, don't let him intimidate you. They brought you in here for a reason. You're going to make the best commercial that you can.
Yeah.
And so I go over and he goes over and he sits on the arm of the couch and he sat on my microphone. I was like, hey, Pete, you're sitting on my mic.
Yeah. I don't come out there and sit on your bat.
Hello.
And Pete says, oh. And he got up and he walked away or whatever. Yeah. And then I'm like, Yeah. And then he wasn't happy with the teleprompter. And I said, do you need the font to be bigger? Yeah, I need the font to be bigger. So we made the font bigger. Okay. We started doing the shoot. And he kept calling Munchkins furniture Munchkins.
That's what I thought you said at first.
He kept saying Munchkins. And I'm like, Pete, that was great, except it's not Munchkins.
For over 50 years, Munchkins has guaranteed the lowest prices on home furnishings.
And we invite you to see why so many people choose Munchkins.
That was good. We said Munchkins?
Munchkins. I have a hard time with that name, Munchkins.
Yeah. I've done it before, too.
Yeah. Munchkins Furniture in Shandon and across from Jungle Gyms in Eastgate.
Go to munchkinsfurniture.com.
Again, we said Munchkins.
I did?
Instead of Munchkins.
Munchkins. Can you change your damn name? For pre-approved, no-hassle financing, go to Munchkins.
And then he started laughing, and he would say it again, and he would laugh because he was screwing up. He was reading fine. He just kept messing up their name. And we're having a good time. And we got the first shot in 4 or 5 times, something like that.
Yeah.
And then I said, okay, we're going to move over to the mattresses. And he was sitting on a mattress, and he had a solo, and he read his line, and then I had him do it one more time. And then I said,
a solo is him sitting there
just
by
sitting
himself,
there by himself.
not him.
No, he wasn't playing any instrument. He didn't bring his ukulele. So the first shot was him and this woman who was with Munchkins Furniture.
Okay.
The second shot was him by himself. The third was her reading something, and then it ended on the two of them. Okay. So we're at his solo shot. He's sitting on this mattress. He reads this line.
Yeah.
I had him do it one more time.
Yeah.
And I liked it. It was good. I said, okay, we're good. We're going to move. And he said, really? I said, yeah. He goes, wow, you're making this really easy. I said, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
And then, I sat down next to him and I said, now the next thing we're going to do is she's going to read this and then we're going to close there. And he's looking over it. Someone from the furniture store grabbed a shot of me going over the lines with him.
Yeah.
I had no idea they were taking pictures because I was going to get a picture with him. And after the commercial was over with, he left before I could do that. So I got a candid shot of me working with him.
That's awesome.
But, at the end of the day, he shook my hand. And he said, this went great. This is really smooth. I won him over.
Yeah.
I was.
And you never know what people are going through because he may have just dealt with jerks.
He could have had,
on other commercials.
He could have had a really bad day. He could have worked with some ass on the previous one.
He could have been with those over at Certs.
I know,
with the
right?
Retsin, they think because they got the
Get
Retsin.
Over yourself.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's just a little piece of food dye is all it is. So you've worked with Pete Rose, you've worked with Billy Bob Thornton. You've hobnobbed with these people.
I interviewed Bill.
You've got an Emmy.
Yeah, I have
many Emmys. You're kind of a big deal, and I abuse the out of you.
I wouldn't say I'm a big deal.
Okay,
yeah,
I think,
but I mean, thank you for saying that. But no, I'm not. I've worked with a few people. You know what? Speaking of the Big Red Machine and the Reds, I almost worked with Joe Morgan.
Okay.
Yeah, Joe Morgan was on the Big Red Machine, and we were going to do a commercial with him. He was going to come into the studio. He was going to be on the green screen. Okay. And he was promoting this. He was doing this thing. You could go on this special trip for a week to Alaska or something, and you could meet him and some other people or whatever.
Yeah.
And so he was going to come in on Wednesday, and we were going to do the shoot at 1 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay, on a Wednesday. Here it is. Tuesday, I went to my doctor. I was getting ready to have hernia repair surgery. Okay. And I had to go in for my pre-op appointment. And I'm in the doctor's office. I'm out there in the lobby. And they said, Darin, we'll see you now. And I'm walking down the hall and my phone rings. And it's Sandy Powers.
Yeah.
She was the secretary in our sales department.
It's a really good name for it.
Sandy Powers. Yeah.
Sandy
and
Powers.
I answer. I'm like, hello. And she goes, Darin, Joe Morgan is here to see you. I said, Sandy, it's Tuesday. He's not coming in until tomorrow. And she says, oh my goodness, are you sure? I said, yeah, honey. Yeah, I didn't call her honey.
Yeah.
I said, yeah,
This is the 80s, folks.
I said, I am positive. He's not supposed to be there until tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm walking into my doctor appointment right now. And she goes, okay, hang on, I'll take care of it. So he had sent the script to Mark D'Angelo, my general man or my sales manager.
Yeah, well, Mark.
And Sandy can get into Mark's email. So she got the script. And then Bob, one of our directors, had seen Joe Morgan walk in and knew that he was there a day early.
Yeah.
And Bob had said, look, I can step in and record this if you need me to. And she says, oh, that'll be fantastic. So they recorded this whole commercial with Baseball Hall of Famer Joe Morgan.
That's awesome.
And I missed it because he came in a day early. And I never got to meet Joe Morgan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I've got another Red story.
Okay.
When I worked nights at Channel 5, I remember I had taken my lunch and it was 8 o'clock or something, and I'm walking upstairs and I'm getting ready to go to my desk to grab something, and our sports guy comes in and he's got Marty Brenneman with him. Okay, the announcer.
Yeah.
And, I haven't met tons of people, but I've met a lot of people, that have come through the TV station. And, you'd think that I would have been cool and relaxed or whatever. And I said, you're Marty Brenneman. And I was so embarrassed because I just went, fanboy over Marty Brenneman, one of the greatest baseball announcers ever. Yeah. And he comes over, hey, fella, how's it going? What's your name? I said, my name is Darin. Nice to meet you. Everything going good? I said, yeah, everything's going great. He goes, all right, well, you take care. And it's like I met Marty Brenneman.
This portion of our show is brought to you by Whoppers All-Beef Footlong Hot Dogs. Hi, I'm Dave Lay. Fall is here, and that means 3 things. It's time to watch football. Women tuck their pants into their boots. And pumpkin spice is in absolutely everything. Well, I've been asked by the fine folks at Whoppers to assure you something. Whoppers will never put that nasty-ass pumpkin spice flavor into their hot dogs or their buns. It's a promise. Whoppers are made from 100% pure beef with no fillers and no preservatives. Get a ruler and measure it yourself. If your hot dog isn't a foot long, they'll refund your money, guaranteed. Now, back to the show.
We normally don't talk about politics, but I want to mention something that's kind of political.
Okay.
And I have a reason for bringing this up.
You don't have to.
No.
You're in a safety tree here. We're in a safe space.
There's video of a guy, and he spent $4,000 to buy an autographed Taylor Swift guitar. Okay. And after he bought this guitar that was autographed by Taylor Swift, he took a hammer to it, and he beat the crap out of it, and everybody was cheering. And so I just wanted to say that to this guy, I am probably not voting for the person that you're voting for. So what I want you to do is go to irritabledadsyndrome.com.
Yeah.
And I want you to buy $4,000 worth of merchandise.
Oh, yeah.
I want you to rip it up. I want you to burn it. I want you to spit on it. Do whatever you want. But please, I want you to protest the hell out of this show. You know what? I want you to get so mad at me. Buy $8,000 worth of merchandise.
Our mugs are really breakable.
Oh God, you can get an Irritable Dad Syndrome mug, throw it right up against the wall,
and
then you could just pee on all the broken mug parts.
Yeah.
I want you to hate this podcast so much you buy so much merchandise and just destroy the hell out of it, please.
Yeah, I'm glad you went there because I saw that on the rundown. I'm like, what the hell is this dude?
I'm like, boy, you sure showed her. $4,000.
She doesn't even know that guitar exists.
No.
Like somebody just handed it to. I was watching.
She spends more than $4,000 on gum.
Yeah.
So I've mentioned several times on this podcast that people they don't know my name. Okay, they either call me Derek or Daryl or
I don't
Dwayne,
even know your name.
Damon. I've been Damien. I've been called Darfin. Okay, I've been called Dwayne. I've been called Dan. Even there are employees of this podcast, okay, who when they post videos, okay, on Instagram or on our TikToks or whatever, my name is misspelled. And they're, like I said, employees of this podcast can't spell my name. Nobody It's a problem. It's a major, major problem.
Here's
and I'm trying to figure out what to do about it. Now, here's the thing.
You need to respell your name.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. My name is my mother and my father, rest his soul in heaven above, named me Darin, and that's my name.
It is.
Don't wear it out.
I'm not wearing it out. I'm just saying.
I'm not changing it. I don't care what you say. I'm not changing it.
I just said it.
I'm not changing it.
I didn't say to change
so
it. I just said
here's
maybe.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
I got a new one the other day. Again, I've been called Derek, Daryl, Dwayne, Damon, Damian, Darfin, Dan. Okay. I've been called Dan I don't know how many times. Cameron and I went to Culver's. And we got
home of the butter burger.
We got burgers, and I ordered, and she said, "What's the name on the order?" And I said, "Darin," and she says, "Okay," and she puts it in. I get my receipt. She put my name down as Dawn.
Dawn,
not D-O-N, Dawn, D-A-W-N, as in Tony Orlando and Dawn. Dawn.
Isn't that typically?
That's a woman's name.
I didn't want to.
It's a woman's
name. I don't
name.
want to misgender you, but that is a
no. It's a woman's name.
Typically a feminine.
Dawn.
Dawn.
I'm like, did you not hear Darin? Because I'm like closer to her than I am to you. And
Darin.
I said, Darin.
Dawn.
2 syllables. Darin.
If you're going to make any type of mistake, you would think they would make the mistake of you being Aaron.
Right. I've been called Aaron.
And
Eric.
Or Daryl. Right.
Right. Yeah.
Dawn.
I went to the Chick-fil-A and the dude put it down as Darwin. And I said, seriously? Darwin? Darwin.
You know the problem with the Chick-fil-A is they got too many damn people walking around out there.
But yeah, Dawn. Hi, I'm Mike and I'm Dawn.
I kind of like the name Dawn. I don't think
it's not a bad name, but it's not.
I don't
my
think
name.
I can have a podcast with a guy named Don though.
Yeah.
I don't think I think.
Dawn.
This portion of our show is brought to you by Meemaw's Country Kitchen Cheese Titties. That's right, these crispy and sweet bite-sized cookies are the perfect snack for any occasion. Put some titties in your mouth and you'll taste the difference. So what are you waiting for? Go out and buy Meemaw's Country Kitchen Cheese Titties today. That's spelled Tiddies. Now, back to the show.
You know, there's a lot of AI going on, Mike. There's a lot of AI. That's artificial intelligence. AI.
Artificial. Yeah, okay.
So,
A.I.
What I said about...
Heartbreaking movie. Did you ever see the movie Artificial Intelligence, Steven Spielberg?
Yeah, with Haley Joel Osment.
Bawling.
Yeah.
It was a slobbering mess.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah.
AI.
Yeah, AI.
Okay.
Artificial intelligence.
So I called the Kia dealership, trying to get an appointment to get Libby's oil changed in her Kia Sorento. And I call, and it says press 1 if you want to talk to, what's it called? The maintenance. One's for maintenance, 2 for sales, whatever. Boop, I want maintenance, whatever. Yeah. It rings, and then there's a pause, and hello, Darin. This is Brooke. Brooke, the AI chick.
Yeah.
Answers, and they have Brooke at the Kia dealership.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Brooke. How are you?
Yeah.
And Brooke almost sounds like she's got the hots for me. Because she said, hi, Darin.
Yeah.
What can I help you with?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I need to get my oil changed. And she's like, I can change your oil easy. I'm like, hey, whoa, Brooke, what are you wearing?
Yeah.
Hang on there, Sally.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it answers, hi, Darin.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's getting creepy.
Yeah, it's kind of...
It's really getting creepy. And your wife, Bess, mentioned that she tried to call something, and the AI comes on and says, let me look into that. It sounds like they're typing.
Yeah.
They're not typing.
No.
Why don't you have AI that sounds like they're playing the damn guitar?
Yeah, I want an AI that's butch. Come on, and he keeps going in and out like he's talking to get it. But put the pies back there. Put it back on the back shelf. Yeah, what do you need there, pal? What do you got?
Hey, hang on 1 second there, Mikey. Order up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he says he's got a Sorento. He bought a Sorento. What do you got to Sorento? You got the tires. You got the oil. What do you got?
I'll tell you what I'll do for you, Darren.
Yeah,
I'll put the air in your tires.
Yeah, tell you what. You get the nitrogen. You get that in there. You get those big fat nitrogen molecules.
Yeah,
they really fill the air up in the tires there.
Yeah.
You can't get that over the Ford,
right,
or the Honda, the Toyota.
You know what I heard?
Yeah,
I heard that Butch has been hitting on Brooke.
He may have.
I think they got together at the Christmas party. The they made out on the fax machine.
If I programmed the AI thing, I would throw it in like a random cussing in there every once in a while, like, "Would you like an oil change?" And you
That's
okay, Joel.
Son of a bitch, and we've already booked it that day. Yeah.
It's time now for an Irritable Dad Syndrome previous story update.
I have a couple of updates from previous shows.
Oh.
Yeah. Remember I was talking about the sheep?
Yes, sheeps.
Yeah, my friend who's trying to get a home for the 2 sheep, and I called my buddy who has a farm. He went and picked up the sheep. They've got a new home. He went and picked up the sheep in his car. He drove his car.
Where do you put a sheep in the car?
In the back seat.
In the back seat. Did he put like a blanket down? And
I assume. I don't know. But so we're going to post the picture on our page on our irritabledadsyndrome.com. I keep saying that, and Mike's never posted any pictures.
I never posted any pictures.
No, we've got pictures of Shadow Stevens and Haywood Banks holding coffee mugs that we've sent them.
It's just so janky.
I've asked for like 2 years, and they're still not on there. Well, I'll talk
Go
to
on
Brooke.
the Instagram.
I'll talk to Brooke.
They're on the Instagram.
Brooke will post them on our.
Go to our Instagram. The picture thing. Yeah.
Anyway, so the sheep found a home.
Okay.
So that was
Good.
awesome. I made a sheep connection with that.
I'll keep on saying sheep.
Last week, you and I were supposed to talk about ice beer.
Yeah.
And we never talked about ice beer.
I just want to know what the hell's the... It seemed like everybody had ice beer. Do you remember that in the 90s?
I do.
It was like if you went to a bar, there were the people drinking the ice beer, and then there were all the other Cro-Magnons in there drinking whatever they ordered at the bar.
I've got a buddy, Chad.
Keystone Ice.
Yeah, I drank Ice House.
Okay.
In the long neck, I liked Ice House. My buddy Chad would never drink an Ice House, and I said, "Why don't you?" He says, "Do you not like it?" He goes, "No, it's not the flavor. You just get so hungover. It really, really makes you hungover, like hungover AF, as the kids say."
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, you're crazy, AF."
Yeah.
And I had 2 Ice House one night. Oh my God, was I hungover?
Knocked you sideways.
I was hungover AF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been talking AI
I
and
need you
AF.
to stop doing that.
That's right.
Just there's something.
This is the episode
It's
where you
like-
question how much caffeine I've had.
It's like
I've been drinking caffeine AF.
it's
Woo!
it's like hearing,
Come on.
It's like hearing your pastor say it doesn't work.
No, my pastor said, "Can I wash your Peter?" Yeah. But no, because I was drinking Ice House one night. We went to Gatsby's, and then after Gatsby's, we went to the
Great
Castle.
Gatsby's.
Oh God,
Yeah.
Gatsby's was such a good bar.
Yeah.
In its day, Gatsby's was loved going to Gatsby's.
I never knew Gatsby's.
Yeah, I mean, what was your favorite bar? Did you have a favorite bar
When I was
in your 20s?
back in the day, there was this wasn't my favorite, but there was a weird bar in Huntington. So that was across the river from where I grew up. And when I go back home during college, during summer or whatever, there was a bar over there. I can't remember what it was called now because it keeps changing names. But there was a period of time.
Right.
It had 2 main sections. And for a few years, one section was all hip hop and like UV, black light and everything. And the very next section over, you go through a curtain.
Yeah.
Everything's red and it's country with line dancing.
Oh my God. We had a bar like that in Johnson City.
I think it's the Wild Dog Saloon, but
yeah,
I
and
can't
then
remember.
everybody would get drunk and they'd meet in the middle and beat the shit out
You
of
just
each
go
other.
back and forth. Like you would go. We spent most of the time over in the country area. It was a little quieter, so you could actually talk.
That where the line dancing was?
That's
though?
where the line dancing
Okay.
was. Well, when they started their line dancing, then we go back over to the hip hop area.
God bless Texas.
It was a cool place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there was a bar called the 1896 that was, it was almost, it was like somebody's townhouse that got turned into a bar. That was kind of cool. There's a place called the Warehouse, which is exactly what it sounds like. It was just like a warehouse with a bar in the middle of it.
Yeah.
There were some cool places.
But no, so Gatsby's was like a block down the street from the TV station where we worked. Usually they would start charging cover at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
So we would get there at 9:45.
Yeah.
And then we'd stay till closing time in Tennessee was 3. So they would, give last call at 2:30 a.m.
Yeah.
And then you had to leave at 3. So, but God, did we love Gatsby's. And there was this round table at the window. And if you were looking for me, Shannon, Jim, Chad, or Donnie, a Friday or Saturday night, that's where we were, the round table. And there was a few times where we would go in and someone would be sitting at our round table and we would stand there uncomfortably and wait for them to leave. We would just kind of just stand there and look at them like, whenever you want to go, we want to sit there. So we loved going to Gatsby's, and Gatsby's was the perfect bar for like a couple of years. And then on the other side of where the bar was, on the other side of it, there used to be like 3 pool tables.
Yeah.
Well, they took that side and then they put a stage in there and they started bringing in bands.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. But then it got really loud and it was no longer the cool bar where you could just go and have some drinks and chat. Then it was like nuts because the band would play and it was really loud.
Yeah.
So it was a cool bar up until the band started playing, which is normally like 10:30, 11 o'clock or something like that. Then they added a dance floor. It was over.
Yeah.
The dance floor was cool, and you go down there and it was like 3 bars, and it was, you're walking there, you got your arms in the air so you don't knock over your bottle, and it was.
So I went to school at OU in Athens,
the
Ohio University. It had the thing called the Court Street Shuffle. I think I've talked about. They had 23 bars, and the deal was you wear a white T-shirt, you bring a marker, and you get a shot or a drink in every bar, and you get someone to sign your shirt.
Okay.
And by the end, you start at the Smiling Skull Saloon. Which is the local biker bar.
That sounds like a cool bar.
Yeah.
Okay.
You start there because you want to be sober when you go in. You need to go sober in and sober out.
You don't want to go in.
No. And so then you go through the bars and you end, when I was there, at a place called the Greenery, which was the 18-year-old bar. Like they would let 18-year-olds go in. Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a bar at all.
The freshmen were allowed to go in there, but
they go to get a corsage.
They couldn't drink,
Right.
Yeah. So I did the shuffle with my engineering class and the professors. We did that one night. But I when you were talking, I was thinking about the progression of bars that you go to at OU. When you're starting out, the only bar you can go to is the Greenery. And then you go to the Nickelodeon, which was less douchey than the Greenery, but still kind of like a kid bar.
Yeah, that sounds like a video game place.
And then, in my mid years, we ended up, there was a place called Tony's, which was a local bar. And it was, the local townies. And by the end of my college career, I ended up living out behind this old lady's house, this old lady Vo.
Yeah.
She was renting out. She had like a separate guest room thing off from her house.
Kind of like Fonzie when he lived over the garage in Happy Days.
Okay, but this was like, and she, every once in a while, she would make me dinner. She'd just bring over spaghetti. She was awesome.
Well, okay.
And anyway, I was near the Smiling Skull Saloon there, and I was in my later years, so I was basically a townie. So it was like I felt comfortable going to the Smiling Skull. And I went from, at the beginning of my college career, Smiling Skull was like, oh my God, don't go in there.
Right.
You never come out. I went from that to being the guy that was in there and seeing the people who would walk in and clearly walked into the wrong bar. Because there's literally nothing on that side of the town. There was like this old meat processing plant that I swear I couldn't tell whether it was in operation or not. And I was there for 5 years.
Right.
I still don't know what was going on in there. The saloon, and then the place where I lived and some other apartments. That was all that was over there.
Yeah.
Like whenever the people would do the shuffle, they would need to have someone show them, no, the Smiling Skull's down there.
Right.
Get in there, get a drink, ask the bartender to sign your shirt. Don't ask anyone in the bar, the bartender, because everyone else will stab you, and then get out. It was like the bar in the Blues Brothers, where they, they're like, oh my God, we're going to get murdered in here. Yeah.
Now, I remember when I learned that it was my bar.
Yeah.
Okay. So like I said, we always got there at 9:45 before cover. I got there one night, 10:30, 10:45. And whenever we would go in, Scotty, the bartender, he would give us the chilled mugs.
Yeah.
Okay. Most everybody just got a mug. He had a select group of people who would give a chilled mug.
Oh, yeah.
They kept in the freezer, right?
Yeah.
So I got there at like 10:45 and I go up to the bar and he says, where have you been, man? I've been worried sick. Hands me my mug.
Yeah.
I used to go back and I would shoot like like I said, it was a block down the street from my TV station.
Yeah.
So I would go down there on my lunch break, and from 7 to 8, and I would shoot pool by myself. And sometimes if someone else was there, I would shoot. So I started hanging out with these guys. There's one guy who was nicknamed Dollar Bill. Okay. Bill. And he always my God, he could break your neck with his arms. Okay. He had these really, I think he was in the Navy or something. And he looked like he would fight you for a quarter, right? He would just want to fight anybody. And he was really good at pool.
Yeah.
And if it was busy, he and I would partner up.
Yeah.
Right. Like I said, I can't shoot pool for crap now. But back in the day, I was okay. And then there was another guy, Charlie.
Yeah.
Charlie had a wooden leg, not an artificial leg, a wooden leg. And he would bang it against hey, you want to see my leg? Burn, hit it against the wall. So Charlie and I were shooting pool one night, just killing time before I had to go back to work. This woman comes up and she puts her quarters on the table and she says, you guys want to play some 9-ball? Sure. So the three of us played around a 9-ball. And she said, well, that was fun. And then she said, I got to go. And she leaves. And Charlie walks over to me and goes, don't ask me how I know this, but she's a hooker. You want to rack them up? I'm like, okay. I just shot pool with a hooker.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Diff Liquid Concentrated Wallpaper Stripper. With its unique enzyme action, Diff dissolves old paste and cuts wallpaper removal time in half. Hi, I'm Dave Lay, and I can't prove this, but I heard that Taylor Swift was seen at her local hardware store buying 2 18-ounce containers of Diff. Until we find video or photos that this actually happened, we're just going to assume that it's true. So what are you waiting for? Go out there and buy some Diff, the only wallpaper stripper endorsed by music sensation Taylor Swift. Now back to you guys in the studio.
So the other day, I called Mike and I had seen that Jon Stewart from The Daily Show is going to be in Columbus, Ohio. So I texted Mike, hey, you want to go see Jon Stewart? You never text me back. Never, ever. And you're like, within seconds, yes, all caps, yes, Bess and I want to go. And I'm like, holy crap, that's the quickest response.
I almost didn't text you back because I knew this would be the response. And I want to tell you this. Usually when you text me, I'm literally in the middle of something.
I know.
I had my phone. We were having Andrew's birthday dinner
party,
with Charlie.
Yeah.
I literally had put my phone, I was checking listens to this thing. And it popped up, do you want to see Jon Stewart? And I'm like, oh my God, I was excited that I get to respond back to you. Bess is right there. She can answer any questions. You're live. I'm live. We're all able to communicate. Yeah. That's what I was excited about.
So excited.
I'm going to clear this up. Because then as soon as I answered that back, I was like, he's going to think the only reason I did that was because it's Jon Stewart. And that's going to be a whole thing. But it's because I was excited that I could answer you.
I told Libby, like, he texted me back, honey. Santa Claus is real. Yeah, so, and then...
I was proud of myself. I did good, didn't I? I did good.
So we're all excited because the four of us were going to go see Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
And then we all go and look, and there's like 9 seats left, and they're none of them together.
Yeah, we would have to.
There's not even 2 sets of 2 seats, and so with tears in our
mirrors
eyes
and flashlights to communicate. You know,
we were like so excited, and then we're like, "Hey, it'll be fun. We'll go get dinner. We'll ride up to Columbus."
Yeah,
and then within 5 minutes, we're like, "Okay, we're not going to do that." So, so excited to.
Yeah.
I hope it's a good show. I hope people enjoy it.
We were even going to do like 2 and 2.
Yeah.
So like we'll go have dinner, we'll do the thing, and then we'll get to the front and we'll be like, I'll see you later.
Oh, and then, so what does Mike do? Because I've got him on speakerphone and Libby's making dinner. And Mike says, what if just the 3 of us went and Libby stayed home? Hey, what happened? And I'm like, Mike.
I'm all about options.
I know you are.
I want things to work out.
And then I spend the rest of the night, honey, Mike likes you. He calls you Liberella. He likes you. He doesn't give people nicknames if he doesn't like you.
She can't possibly think that I don't like her.
He doesn't want me to go to the concert.
You're listening to Irritable Dad Syndrome, Cincinnati's comedy podcast.
Yay. I went to Kings Island
Yeah.
Kings Island's almost closed for the season.
Yeah, we're supposed to go this weekend to the hunt.
We bought season tickets, and I think we've used them 3 times or 4 times. Back when the kids were little, oh my God, we would go like 20,
I think
30 times. We used to go almost every weekend, right?
The golden number, isn't it 4? Once you've gone 4 times,
yeah, you've paid for it.
So
we've paid for our season pass, but we still haven't used it enough.
Yeah.
So we're going to go, and, Libby had back surgery last year, and she's not riding any roller coasters.
Yeah.
She's just not going to take the risk. And I totally understand. So she and Cameron were going to go ride. There's a new ride. It looks like eggs, and you go upside down, and it just basically goes around. Yeah, I'm not doing that. So I was going to go ride Adventure Express, which used to be the Indiana Jones ride, right? So, and there's not hardly anybody in line because it had just stopped raining.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they did this, but I thought I was going to be riding the ride by myself.
Yeah.
But this dude comes, and he's going to be riding it with me, which is always awkward when you're riding a ride with a stranger.
Yeah, I tell him to get off.
And like I said, I could lose a few pounds.
You're in a little egg with this man?
No. I'm on Adventure Express.
Okay,
I'm getting on the Adventure Express. And so he comes over.
That's that one's a tight one.
It is. Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah. So he comes over, and he's going to ride the ride with me. And you know me, I usually just chat, doesn't matter if I know you or not. And I thought, I'm not going to be that guy. I'm just going to ride the ride. Yeah. And he gets in there, and he's trying to pull the thing down. He goes, I'm starting to rethink my love of barbecue, if you know what I mean. And I'm like, yeah, tell me about it. And I did the old pet in my stomach, and we rode the ride, and usually I scream like holy hell on these rides, and I was just like, I don't know this guy, and I felt weird. I wasn't enjoying myself. Yeah. And like I said, I think he could have ridden somewhere else on the car. I don't know why he sat next to me. As we're pulling in, as the ride's over with, one of the employees there, she's waving at the people. And I'm like, hi, hey. And I'm waving back at her. Hi, I had a good time. I enjoyed myself. Nothing. And I looked at him and said, can you believe that? She's waving at me. I wave back at her, and she doesn't say anything. He doesn't say anything. So now this is awkward.
Yeah.
Right. I wasn't going to talk to the guy. He made a joke. I wasn't going to talk to him. And then I thought, okay, now I'll make a joke and I'll talk to him.
Yeah.
And now it's ruined.
Okay.
Yeah. It was ruined AF.
You reminded me of a story from Busch Gardens that I forgot to tell from our vacation at the Virginia Beach. We rode every single roller coaster there, but then they also had a log flume thing.
I love the log flume. I love the log flume?
Yeah.
The log flume.
So I made a faux pas, a Faux pass, as it were. And it's because I didn't understand the logistics of how the log worked. Right? There's 2 seats in the log. You're supposed to, one person sit in this seat, one person sit in the seat behind, and you go fluming. Like,
right? As logs do.
As you do. So Charlie wanted to sit in the seat with me. He wanted, like, me sit in the front seat, and then he sits, like, between my legs, like in the same seat.
Yeah.
So behind us was some girl. I don't know how old she was. I maybe 17, 18. I don't know what she was there by herself. And I felt like an idiot because me and Charlie were in the front seat. And I thought that meant somebody was supposed to get behind. So I just looked back. I was like, are you going to get a thing? And she gave me a look like, no. And she was like, no, I'm not. And then she looked at the guy that was running the ride. And then it started to dawn on me what this looks like. Yeah. Some fat 49-year-old dude with his kid saying, up in the back, honey, we're going fluming.
It's going to be fine.
And then I wanted to say, it seems like there's more room in the log.
Yeah.
We messed up.
We're just wasting log space.
There's plenty of, and I didn't get a chance because he already said, go. And so then the whole log flume ride, they're behind. She and whoever she ended up riding with is behind us.
They're in the next log. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm like, they're probably talking about the creepy fat dude in the log up there.
He had his kid with him. And he wanted me to sit there.
I am
gross.
I am the story. I am the creepy, bald, fat guy in somebody's story now.
You're probably been mentioned on her podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just a moment of stupidity.
Right. the other day, Jacob was on the Alexa and he was listening to Freebird. Okay. And Alexa plays the live version.
Lord knows I can't stop.
Right. I can't change. Yeah. And do you
Big Skinnerd fan here.
Do you like Freebird?
I've seen Skinnerd live, actually.
Okay.
With ZZ Top.
Oh, okay. I've seen ZZ Top a few times.
Back in my 20s.
Never seen Skinnerd.
Yeah.
As I say, none of the members are alive now.
Fun fact, there's a part in the Skinnerd show where the entire screen behind them is the rebel flag, and I did not know this. I had gone to get a beer, and I came back, and there's a rebel flag, and for a second I thought, I've walked into the wrong room. I'm supposed to be where the concert is.
Anyway, so Freebird is playing, and we get like 2 or 3 minutes into the solo, and Libby says, Alexa, stop.
Yes.
And Jacob's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
He says, you can't stop. You can't just stop the solo.
I know exactly how Libby feels, though.
The truth is, I do too.
Yeah.
But I felt like piling up because I was just in one of those moods. Plus, you could tell that it was one of those days where you could joke and not get stabbed by Libby. And I walked in like, what's going on? He's like, she stopped in the middle of the solo. Right in the middle of the solo.
Yeah.
In the middle of the solo.
Yeah.
Freebird.
Yeah.
How dare you? Oh my God. You can't in the middle of the solo, Dad. Wow. And then she's like, Alexa, resume. No. The moment's gone.
You've killed it.
The moment's gone.
Yeah.
I'm not in the mood.
Yeah.
And then
you're in the mood. The dog starts scratching on the door.
Right.
You're out of the mood. You can't. You can't pick back up.
You get a phone call and the mood's gone.
Unlock the door. Wash your hands and get on with your night. It's done.
Wash your hands. It's done. But she's like, Alexa, play Freebird. And it's played Freebird. No, because we don't want to hear the whole thing again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it takes 12 minutes to get to the solo, right?
It does.
Yeah, and then
they had a whole LP to fill back then.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't want to hear the whole freaking...
So you know me. Whenever I get a band in my head and I start playing them all the time, and I got when Tool was touring, Tool, their songs range from 4 minutes to 40 minutes.
They have a 40 minutes. They don't have.
They don't. It's like 15. They have 12 to 15 minute long songs. But then they have their and one of I forget which song it is. It's going for like 5 or 6 minutes. And Bess, I didn't even know she was listening. She was in the other room. She's like, "Does it just keep doing that?" It's like, I'll skip it. Yeah. And ours is the Google lady. Yeah. Okay, Google. Skip,
When I hear "Hey Jude," I'm like, okay, they could cut the na down about 12 times. Yeah. That goes even. Yeah. It's like, okay, all right, Paul.
Yeah.
Stop.
There is a we talked about Oasis and the Beatles together. I need to look up the name of the song. And you've mentioned
many times that you hate the Beatles.
I don't hate the Beatles. I've tried to start listening to it. I think I do like them. I want to find the name of the song here because I haven't listened to it in forever. Because once you hear this song,
a Beatles
all around the world by Oasis.
Okay,
get on Spotify, get on the YouTube Music, and listen to the song. It's about 3 hours long. Around minute 3, it's Liam. All around the world, all around the world.
I've heard
all around the world. It's just on and on and on, and then he stops, and it's just the orchestra in the background, and then it kicks back in, and he comes back. All right, it's like, Jesus, dude, are you serious? I love them, but my God, I remember one of my very close friends in college, Stapleton, and I were watching MTV. They were broadcasting a concert of Oasis when Be Here Now came out, and they did that song. It was like there were 40, it was an hour long show that they were doing. It's like minute 40, they started that song. And it was like became clear that was the last song, and both of us were like, "Oh my God, they're just going to keep doing this."
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
yeah.
I know the
cut it out.
Yeah, I'm going from them to Eric Clapton, but the original version of Layla.
Yeah,
it's like they would never ever release a song like Layla today.
Yeah,
because 4 minutes into it, it kicks into
Goodfellas,
a completely different song.
Yeah, it becomes Goodfellas. You're thinking of the guy, the Fonz, in the back of the refrigerated truck, hanging from when the meat.
Henry
locker.
Winkler wasn't in.
The guy that looked like him.
Okay,
the guy with the hair. My wife's Italian, so we're good.
Oh, yeah.
We're good. Yeah. I ate pasta yesterday.
I did too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure. You have garlic bread?
I did not have any garlic bread.
Then you didn't eat pasta.
Well, actually, I did. I had leftover pasta.
Okay.
All right. For lunch.
So. All right.
This has been fun.
This has been a good one.
Yeah, this is a hoot. I mentioned earlier that if you hate anything about the show, I want you to go to irritabledadsyndrome.com, buy some merchandise, and destroy it, please. Yeah. While you're on Irritable Dad Syndrome,
film yourself destroying it. It'll make us feel bad.
Oh my God, we'll post it on our
because we're voting for that one candidate.
Yeah,
and we feel very strongly about that one candidate.
Yeah, and we're totally against your candidate.
Yeah, we're against your candidate.
Your candidate's horrible.
Yeah, so buy our toss it in the fire.
Teach us a lesson
and film yourself doing it.
Yeah.
And then make a video of that, upload it, tag us.
You know what? And if you really want to protest this podcast, you can go to Patreon.
Yeah.
And you can just send us $5 or $10 a month, and you can curse every month when it comes in. Like, God, I hate them.
Yeah.
Send.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll because we need to be taught a lesson. We're gonna go. We hope to see you next week on Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Irritable Dad Syndrome is a Mike Odell, Darin Cox production.
Isn't pickling like an old person's thing? Because I've really recently started to gravitate towards pickle because I like the pickle flavored.
Well,
goldfish.
I mean, I never ever see a bunch of 20-year-olds. Hey, what are you younger 20-year-old kids doing? We're gonna go pickling.
This is gonna go in best of. I can feel it. Part or not. Part of it is
it could or it couldn't.
It could or it couldn't. And the
they had to sedate Cookie Monster. I know that you have a life outside of our friendship in this podcast. I have a couple of updates from previous shows.
From what?
I have a couple. I have a couple of updates from previous shows.
Okay, you said shoes.
I'm all of a sudden I'm Canadian.
Listen back when you're editing this, you'll hear what I heard. Okay. And I get weird. You know,
really?
We should.
I've never noticed.
I actually had to because the tour sold out in 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm. The what?
The tour.
The tour.
The tour. The tour. Oasis tour.
The tour.
The tour.
The tour.
Oh Jesus! Is this a new one?
It's Lewis Black.
All right.
The tour.
Anyway,
if it hadn't been for my horse. Yes.
I'm trying to get more disciplined.
Yeah,
disciplined.
Yeah, you're banging them out.
Yeah. What?
You're banging the hammer.
You guys leave?
Go home.
We gotta. I mean, it's the sun's coming up.
I've got a sitter.
Hey. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
Na 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 na. Hey Jude.
Our affordable prices and superior customer service is what we believe will make you a customer for life.
We believe it, and we guarantee it too. Messed you up.
That was good. Sound good? Yeah.
I didn't have this last time, and I was all jacked up.
Befuddled?
I was befuddled.
Betwixt?
Yeah.
Bewildered?
I want to make sure I'm timing this.
Yes.
The exact amount of time I have to spend with you, and then I can stop it.
Hold on, the show's not over yet. Irritable Dad Syndrome is going into overtime, starting right now.
You know I enjoy abusing you.
I know.
It's part of this friendship.
I know.
Abuse.
I know.
It's not healthy.
I know.
It's not healthy.
And what's worse is I keep coming back.
I think you're going to
I look forward to it.
I both feel bad and I'm proud of the fact that you're going to be in therapy. If I drop the
you don't
dead,
feel bad at all.
You're going to be on a couch somewhere and you'll be like, I liked talking to him.
The last thing Mike told me to do was
I would come back. You know, like sometimes people come back to say one last thing.
I can just see me visiting you in the hospital and you're like, and Bess says he's trying to tell you something, Elena, and you're like, and then you fart. And you're like, that was funny. What? My.
Oh, that's the best. To get somebody to come in close and
just unload right in your shorts. Yeah. And then you're like, hey, joke's on you. and with my luck, like Bess would be out in the hallway.
This is going to sound horrible.
And she'd be like, what did he say? I'm like, he told me that.
This is why I could never become a billionaire, because I would pay for this to happen. I would pay for people to be ready to go whenever I die.
Yeah.
Wherever it is. If I'm in the hospital, if I'm at home, a crack team ready. And as soon as the thing flatlines and whoever's in there with me, they run in, they grab me, and they throw me in a wood chipper down on the road right there.
I've told Jacob and Cameron both that I will get the Viking funeral. Put
like
me out in the
Gondor.
middle, yes.
Yeah. Oh.
Middle of the river, light me on fire. I'm dead. They can't be arrested for it. It's in the paperwork.
They should put you in the little pond down here on 747.
Or the one in my neighborhood.
Right next to the mellow mushroom.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
right in front of the Starbucks.
Yeah.
Light you up.
Just light me up.
You keep going out.
It's like, how... Okay, so you do the Viking funeral. How long would it burn before somebody came to stop it?
I would volunteer to be in scuba gear out there with a propane torch to light you back on fire if you go out.
I was about to say,
I'd light you.
You gotta do the arrow.
No.
You gotta do it with the arrow.
And I'd be like, damn it, and come up.
Yeah. But seriously, how long would you burn, do you think, before
you mean shoot the flaming arrow at you?
Shoot the arrow onto the thing and then light you on fire. On fire, as they say in Virginia.
Can I use a bottle rocket?
Sure. That's a pretty good bottle rocket impression. I went to see Elton John, and
he did Immigrant Song?
No, he did Rocket Man.
Oh,
a 20-minute live version of Rocket Man.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, literally, I think it's going to be a long, long time.
Yeah.
Doom, doom, doom.
Okay.
I think it's like, okay.
Yeah, it is going to. It's
so,
a long, long time.
I remember, I think I may have told you.
Yeah.
Like, when he starts Rocket Man, that's when you go to the bathroom. That's when you go get a beer. That's when you go buy a T-shirt.
So,
like, say you forgot to, like your kid got locked out of the house.
Okay.
You drive home. You let your kid back in the house. You get in your car. You drive back to the stadium.
Yeah.
Or you repark. You walk the 10 minutes.
All right.
And then you get to your seat once you get through security, because they're going to say, weren't you already here? And we shouldn't really be letting you back in because we have a policy that you can't leave and come back. You're like, well, I was here because my wife is still inside.
Yeah.
And they're like,
She's still
okay.
in there
And then
singing.
you go and you sit down, and I think it's going to be a long, long time.
Yeah.
Dun, bum, ba-da.
Yeah. It's a great song. Bye.